Dear student, let me explain the program to control the stepper motor using interrupts. So in 8051 we have the external interrupt 1 and external interrupt 2 along with the timer interrupts and serial interrupt. So we have these are the interrupts. Uh, so my analogy is this: using interrupt external interrupts to control my stepper motor wise clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. So this is our program. We'll go with step by step how this program will works. So in our 8051 we have the LCD screen, so that I can display that my motor has rotating in the clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, so that I use some of the routine are written inside our ROM area. So this is the address where initializing your LCD monitor. It is already written in the ROM area. So now we'll start with the program. Before starting that program, let me comes to the interrupts with particular address. So as I said that we have 8051 as a 5 interrupts: external interrupt 0, external interrupt 1. External interrupt 0 is an address of 003H and external interrupt 1 address 0013H. So these two interrupts I am using to control my interrupts, stepper motor. So let me initialize for 013H. It means that this is an address I have written the routine in such a way that my motor has rotated one direction. So I am written inside in this address R4 becomes 00. So R4 why I am taken as, because I am checking with the R4. So in such a way that R4 is 00, it should be rotated in the clockwise direction, and R4 is 1 FF, then your stepper motor is rotated in the anti-clockwise direction. So when I press interrupt 1, it has to be rotated in one direction, that is I check with the R4 as 00, and I come back to return by using RETI, return interrupt. Then one more address is 03H, that is interrupt 0. Here I am written the routine as R4 as FF. So this is two interrupt I initialized: external interrupt 0 and external interrupt 1. So you should remember that in external interrupt 0 R4 as FF, external interrupt 1 the R4 as 00, I written that. And now I will going to initializing my LCD to display the status of my motor. So that's what I called that address. That program has already written. Then I need to initializing my interrupt. So in interrupt we have the two register, IE and IP registers. So IE I should make out in such a way that what are the interrupt we are using. Let me come to here. So this is your IE register. So this is your EA as enable the interrupts. So these two we are not using, and this is your serial port interrupt ES, and this is your external timer and external interrupt 1 and external timer 0, external interrupt 0. So in this I am using here as enabling this should be 1, and what about your external 0, and this should be 1, all other will be 00. That's what the value here it is. Totally it is 85. Remember, this is 1 and 00, and this is also 0, and this should be 1, this is 0, this should be 1. So it is 5. So totally it is 85. I need to load it to IE register to be work on my system. So that's what I loaded 85 to IE. Then default I make R4 as 00 in such a way that R4 as 00 in the sense my motor stepper motor has rotated in clockwise direction. This is my where I made it as a default and made it as port 0 as 00. It means that all the ports works as an output. So this is the initializing state. Now we'll start with my program. So